Follow News 1226 on Facebook for the latest up-to-date coverage near you.
Help us fight for life and train the CSRA. Contact the American Heart Association for details.
Follow News 1226 on Twitter to keep informed with the latest happening near you.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 First at 5.
Tiger Woods on the road to recovery after a serious car crash injured his leg Tuesday. And as soon as tonight, the House could vote on a COVID relief plan that would put more money in the hands of Americans. But first, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster announcing this afternoon he is lifting his last call order. That means restaurants and bars no longer have to stop serving alcohol at 11 p.m. He's also lifting restrictions on large gatherings. That means the Department of Commerce will no longer have to approve events with more than 250 people like before. Both of these changes go into effect on Monday. A man found dead on the side of the road in Trenton yesterday, and today we know his name. The Aiken County Coroner's Office identifying that man as 68-year-old Tommy Hoover from North Augusta. They say they believe his body was there for several days. Today, the investigation continues, and our Celeste Springer tells us his friends are left with a lot of questions.
Tommy Hoover's body was found on this rural stretch of road in Trenton, and the Aiken County Sheriff's Office says they're investigating it as a suspicious death. They say someone who lives nearby found his body here underneath a tarp. Hoover was reported missing 4 days ago. Family told police that he was last seen leaving work to go see a friend. What they didn't know at the time is it would be the last time they would ever see him. The friend he went to go visit told police that he and Hoover had gotten into an argument and Hoover left. He says he later saw Hoover driving down Augusta Road towards Aiken on Saturday afternoon. Now, friends are looking for answers about what happened and how Tommy ended up dead.
When I read on Facebook that he didn't show up for work, that definitely did not sound like Tommy. He was a very responsible person, was my co-worker in the nightclubs. He never missed a night. He was always there.
And coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll hear more from that friend about what Tommy was like, and we'll also take a closer look at what police know at this point. In Trenton, Celeste Springer on your side.
Still so many questions. Thanks, Celeste. Again, investigators are considering his death suspicious. He was autopsied today, but investigators aren't able to tell us the cause of death just yet. We'll bring you much more on that story again coming up. Richmond County officials are looking for help finding this missing woman. Take a good look. They say 52-year-old Elsie Blue was last seen last Wednesday, just before 10 a.m. on Druid Park. Again, that's Elise Blue, rather. That's across the street from Payne College. She was wearing a green jacket with a black fur hood, black tights, and a blue shirt. If you have any information, please call the Sheriff's Office. We've got the number there on your screen. Atlanta police have found a 16-year-old girl who police say was abducted by her dad yesterday. Officials arrested the suspect, Melvin Castellanos, during a traffic stop in Texas. The teen is not hurt and is back home with her family. Atlanta police first launched the search for her yesterday morning after her mom told them the girl's dad took her from home without permission.
Well, most of the area has stayed dry today, and temperatures not overly cold by any means. Number of us getting it back into the 70s this afternoon. The rain threat has really stayed to our north of this front that's basically stalled out over the CSRA and dividing our temperatures with 40s north and potentially getting close to 80 again in the southern counties. A closer look at Doppler Max radar, not showing much, folks. We're not expecting too much rain this evening and tonight. So if you're firing up the grill, looking good to go. Not expecting much in the way of rain for the rest of this evening and tonight. We are going to hang on to that cloud cover. Here's a current look over Aiken County, and those temperatures are cooler today. Aiken County was around 75, 76 yesterday afternoon, so those temps are about 20 degrees cooler this afternoon in some places, but not everywhere. Look south of Augusta, Waynesboro, you're back up to 77. Sylvania, you're at 78. Saluda, you just got up to 50 after sitting in the 40s all day long. So if you're firing up the grill, comfortable temps, not expecting much in the way of showers moving on through, just cantle up maybe a sprinkle in one spot. Take a look at near record highs for the weekend in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Riley. After rescheduling twice now because of bad weather, University Hospital finally held its second dose vaccine clinic at First Baptist Church. Today, they gave about 1,600 people their second dose of the Moderna vaccine. All of this coming on the heels of Governor Brian Kemp's announcement expanding vaccine access in Georgia. The hospital says they aren't able to schedule any first dose clinics right now due to the inconsistent vaccine supply.
It's a little unexpected that we're not getting the first dose supply of vaccine. We're kind of doing a new strategy. What does it look like in the future for us for first dose clinics? Whether we need to do smaller clinics instead of, large.
They're hoping the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will open the door for them to vaccinate more people and offer more first dose clinics. If you live in Edgefield County, there is an opportunity for you to get vaccinated. Coming up March 9th, DHEC is hosting a drive-through clinic at the Palmetto Shooting Complex Pavilion. There are still some slots available if you're 65 or older or eligible otherwise under Phase 1A. These slots will be held for people who live in Edgefield County until Tuesday. Then they will open up to the entire state. To register, call the number on your screen. Make sure you leave your name, age, number, and zip code. As soon as tonight, the House could vote on President Joe Biden's nearly $2 trillion American Rescue Plan. The bill is expected to pass along narrow party lines, putting it on a path to become law next month. But as Stephen Portnoy reports, Democrats lost out on a key provision in that plan.
The House is preparing to vote on the president's $1.9 trillion COVID relief package.
We have the ability to crush this virus and get more resources where they are badly needed.
The package includes $1,400 stimulus checks for individuals earning less than $75,000 a year. It boosts federal unemployment payments to $400 a week. It also includes funding for school reopenings, assistance for rent and food, money for vaccine distribution, and aid for state and local governments. The bill will likely pass with few, if any, Republican votes.
We already know what is the best stimulus plan out there. It is to fully reopen our economy.
The House bill contains a $15 an hour minimum wage provision, but in the Senate, the parliamentarians says it can't survive the process that Democrats are using to avoid a GOP filibuster. Here at the White House, aides say the president is disappointed by that decision, but he respects it.
We are committed to finding the best path forward to increasing the minimum wage, and that will require a number of conversations with leaders in Congress and members who are committed to this issue moving forward.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is considering a new provision that would tax large corporations that don't pay their workers at least $15 an hour. Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, the White House.
Republicans have put forward several plans to raise the minimum wage. Senators Tom Cotton and Mitt Romney unveiled legislation to boost the minimum wage to $10 an hour, while Missouri Senator Josh Hawley unveiled his plan this morning that would boost it to $15 an hour, but only for corporations with more than $1 billion in revenue. So many families are struggling right now, so many, and if you need help paying for internet, there is a new option for you. The FCC is approving a new internet subsidy program. If you qualify, you can get up to $50 a month for internet bills. You can also get $100 off for one computer or tablet. Sign-ups for these new benefits could begin in the next 60 days. If you qualify, you have to be on food stamps, Medicaid, and if you've received a Pell Grant or lost your job during the pandemic, but definitely something to look into. After allegations of voter fraud and the presidential extent of overall damage appears at this point to be limited, a U.S. official did say, quoting here, up to a handful of militants were killed in the airstrikes. Tiger Woods beginning the recovery process after a terrible car accident Tuesday left him with some pretty significant leg injuries. Today, he was transferred to a second Los Angeles area hospital to continue his orthopedic care and recovery. Officials confirm Woods is now at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, which is about 20 miles away from where he was. Yesterday, Phil Mickelson talked about Woods' massive impact on the game of golf.
I realize, just like all the guys here do, how much he's meant to the game of golf and the growth and getting us off the back page and onto the front page, and so we've all benefited from him. But you're right, it has really evolved from competing against each other to working with each other.
The reasons for Woods' change of hospital haven't been announced, but the Cedars-Sinai network is known for sports rehabilitation. Costco is raising its starting minimum wage. The company says it will increase the starting wage for hourly workers to $16 an hour. That is more than Amazon, Target, Walmart, and Best Buy. Costco has around 180,000 U.S. employees, with 90% of them working hourly. The new higher pay rate goes into effect next week for all stores, including the one right here in Augusta, just a stone's throw from where I'm sitting right now. Almost a year after the pandemic took off in the U.S., we are still facing some of the very same problems. Coming up, how Florida hopes to keep cases low during the spring break surge. Riley?
We are expecting those temperatures to get close to records this weekend. Have a look at that full forecast for you coming up.
Nearly one full year into the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's been like a death.
And the virus is claiming more than just local lives. It's taking down local businesses, too. Monday on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Coronavirus case numbers are dropping, but experts worry that upcoming spring break travel will mean new super spreader events, just like last year. Manuel Jorquez shows us how officials in South Florida are struggling to prepare for potentially large crowds.
The sun and sand of South Beach is synonymous with spring break. But for thrill seekers who get out of control, Miami Beach Mayor Dan Gelber has a warning.
If you're coming here to go crazy, go somewhere else, you're going to be arrested.
He's hoping to avoid scenes like these from last year's spring break.
I get corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying.
That helped seed South Florida with COVID last spring. The city has stepped up its police presence, banned open alcohol containers, and set capacity limits on its most popular beaches. But statewide rules prevent Gelber from enforcing a mask mandate or capacity limits on most businesses.
Do you really think that your restrictions for spring break will make a difference, or is it trying to hold back a tidal wave with a Dixie cup?
Listen, I don't know, but you got to do what you can do. We're not going to eliminate risk. We're simply going to try to manage it with the tools we have.
One of those tools is a midnight curfew, which means South Beach isn't exactly what tourists like Lauren Gibbons expected.
We wanted to go out to bars and, have a good time, because it's South Beach, it's Miami. Nobody wants to be done at 12 midnight, so it was a bummer, but I'm still having a blast.
That's what businesses here are hoping for. Customers comfortable with the new normal.
Our goal is keep you safe and give you a good time.
So you're not letting things be the wild, wild west out here?
Far from it.
Mohan Koka is the general manager of the Kimpton Surf Comer Hotel. He says hotels and restaurants depend on this season for profit. But after the virus devastated the industry last year, they're not looking for another lockdown.
I believe that from what we have done, people can be safe, but there is always an individual responsibility. This is a two-way street.
It's a tricky balance to strike, according to Stephen Saywitz. He's the chief operating officer at Joe's Stone Crab, a Miami institution.
We're in the people-pleasing business. We're in the yes business. Now we're in the proctoring kind of business. But the truth is we're in a pandemic.
And what can we do? Hotel bookings are already estimated to be 20% higher than they were last March, before the virus really started taking off. The mayor says he's concerned about the potential for a super spreader event, including what tourists could take home with them and also what they could bring into the state. A lot of factors to consider, and it's already starting. Honestly, we're talking about spring break, Riley, but it's feeling like summer in some parts of the area. Not complaining. I will take close to 80 any day. This has been great.
I love it, Meredith. And this weekend's only going to get better. We can actually get close to record highs this weekend. So very similar to what we've been seeing the past couple of days. Today was just a little blip in the forecast. We did see much cooler high temperatures. Both of us about 20 degrees cooler than what we saw just yesterday afternoon. It's all thanks to this front that's basically dividing the area and keeping the rain mainly north of this front. So this is acting like a lifting mechanism. So as that moisture goes up, it's going to keep that rain threat mainly north of us for the rest of this evening and tonight. Now, can't rule out maybe a stray sprinkle here or there across the area, but in general, keep your outdoor plans. If you're firing up the grill or anything like that, don't think you should have to battle too much in the way of showers through the rest of this evening. Closer look at home, a little tiny shower there up towards the northern end of Clarks Hill, kind of where it meets Lake Russell. Overall, just not a whole lot out there for many of us. And we are seeing a few breaks in the clouds. This is actually looking off Deansbridge Road at the Augusta EMA Center there. We are seeing temps only in the upper 50s currently inside Bobby Jones. That's your Daniel Field temperature right there. And it's been much cooler, but not necessarily too far from average. So it ended up actually being a nice afternoon for many of us with that rain threat fairly low. The rest of tonight, can't rule out an isolated shower, but that means 95% of us are going to stay dry. So not expecting a whole lot of rain for the rest of tonight. Temperatures tomorrow morning, most likely going to be close to 50 for us here in Augusta. The further north you go, a little bit cooler. Further south, a little bit warmer. Tomorrow afternoon, us in Augusta, we're expected to see the 80s once again. Expecting 81 for a high at Bush Field with partly cloudy skies and southwest winds. And on Sunday, we're only expected to increase those temperatures. Sunday afternoon, we're expecting to get within a couple degrees of a record high. And with that warm air, a little bit more moisture moving in this weekend, can't rule out maybe a straight pop-up shower into Sunday afternoon. But once again, isolated means that threat is very low. So hopefully you can get outside and enjoy this spring-like weather for the weekend. The winds are currently out of the north-northeast as this front's just kind of hanging around the area. But as we head throughout the day on Saturday, we are going to see a warm front lift north of us. And once that happens, we're going to see southwest winds anywhere from around 8 to 12. So a little bit of a breeze Saturday afternoon. Heading into Sunday, we're going to keep those southwest winds and actually expecting those winds to pick up a little bit. Sunday afternoon, those winds should be fairly steady between 10 to 15. So if you have plans maybe to hit the course tomorrow, not expecting those winds to be a huge factor for you, but later into the day, could just see those winds pick up a little bit over 10 miles an hour. Monday is going to be our better opportunity to see more widespread rain. That's our next front dropping through, cooling us off to the 60s by next Tuesday.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Riley. We are following the Johnson & Johnson vaccine as it awaits approval in the U.S. Just into our newsroom, a panel of experts endorsing the one-dose vaccine. Meanwhile, the FDA is expected to make their final decision soon. They are expected to follow the recommendation to approve it. Coming up, keeping your kids safe online. Boy, it can be a whole new territory. Coming up in 2 minutes, we'll show you how secret codes come into play. Some news parents, all of us, can use.
The 2020
Secret emoji meanings or texting acronyms. It is enough to keep parents ITD in the dark. I just learned that today. Don't feel bad if you didn't know it. Consumer reporter Jamie Tucker uncovers some of these coded messages.
It isn't too difficult to figure out secret emoji meanings. The smoke or wind emoji often means smoking or vaping. The eyes emoji paired with a fruit or vegetable may mean send nude pictures. And this one, the zipper face alongside a man or woman or both, means don't tell your parents. But kids know some of those emoji are easily deciphered, so now they're using acronyms to KPC, keep parents clueless. If your kids text MOS, DOS, or POS, it means mom, dad, or parents looking over their shoulder. They use acronyms for sex. It might be between friends or a stranger they've met online or in a chat app. WTTP means want to trade pics. GAP is gotta pick. And if someone sends the text NIFOC, it means nude in front of the computer. Particularly troubling messages if they're chatting with someone they don't know. The text ASL is someone asking for their age, sex, and location. And if someone texts them 121, they're asking if they'd like to go to a private chat room. If they're hiding something, they may be using a different messaging app, such as Signal, WhatsApp, or Telegram. And they can hide those on their phones using a hidden locker, which often have calculator icons. And with iPhones now, they can also hide apps from their home screens. So if you're suspicious and checking their phone, go to the last page of their apps, tap All Apps, and you'll see a list of every app that's downloaded onto the phone. So if you see some of those acronyms, maybe some of those apps on their phone, it could be a warning sign that something's going on. And there are a lot of other acronyms that they're using. I have a complete list on my blog, whatthetech.tv. That is What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
Thank you for that, Jamie. We are expecting a nice weekend. High temperatures back into the 80s. If you want to watch the car, have another look at that weekend forecast, or 7-day forecast. That's the weekend forecast. 7-day forecast after the break.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, what are you waiting for?
Call George Sink Injury Lawyers at all 9s now.
The sooner you call, the sooner they can help.
George Sink Injury Lawyers has the experience to help you get your money faster. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call all 9s.
She does my eyes. She does this cute little saying almost every day that her and her mom used to do. And she says, "Did I tell you I love you today?" And then I say still, and then she says always. So it's just a cute thing that happens pretty much daily. Even just before, I'll just be about to fall asleep and she wouldn't have said it that day, and then she says it, and it's adorable. Forever means it all. Means everything.
Hi.
A call or video conference is all it takes to have the best team on your side.
Follow News 1226 on Instagram to see what's trending in your area.
All right, here's a look at your community calendar. We have a great event going on tomorrow, a Drive for the Homeless. That's going to be between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. at Trinity on the Hill United Methodist Church. They're in need of all types of stuff. Toiletries, clothing, anything you can bring, even monetary donations as well. And the weather does look good tomorrow if you want to head out to that. Road trip forecast for you. If you're heading to the mountains, you are expecting a few showers in Asheville. I would choose the coast. Charleston's looking beautiful with highs in the 70s.
All right, sounds great. Thanks for that, Riley. Richard Rogers just stepping into the studio. He's joining me in just 3 minutes, so don't go anywhere.